All my oven, let me cook for you. All my oven, so you'll be cooking too.
Hello, and welcome to the very first episode of All My Oven. I am so excited to be here. This all came to be pretty quickly. Thank you for being here for my very first episode. I can't wait to see where this goes, and I am so thankful to all my friends who have helped me bring this entire thing to life. So just to introduce myself, I am Lauren. I am from Winnipeg, Manitoba, Canada. I'm just a white girl with a kitchen. I have no culinary training, no in-restaurant experience, none of that. I have just loved cooking and baking for as long as I can remember, and this is where it's brought me, and I'm very excited to get things started. I want the vibe of this channel to be pretty laid back, easygoing, and realistic. I want to show you the mess ups. I want to show you the accidents, whether they're happy accidents or complete fails. Because reality is, nobody's perfect, and sometimes things don't work out. Things fall, stuff spills, doughs don't rise, sauces break. It's going to happen no matter who you are. Yes, even Gordon Ramsay. So today I just want to keep things simple and share with you my chocolate chip cookie recipe that I've been curating over the years. A super dense, chewy chocolate chip cookie. That is perfect in my eyes. So that's what we're hopefully going to accomplish today. I'll be taking you through the steps and ingredients, but I will leave the specifics in the description box down below for you to check out if you want to try making it yourself. So before we get started, I'm going to put on my apron. Perfect. If you don't need an apron, God bless your soul. I need one. I'm a mess. Okay, so let's get right into it. First with the ingredients. All-purpose flour, cornstarch, baking soda, baking powder, salt, butter, both brown and white sugar, golden syrup, vanilla extract, toffee bits, and of course, chocolate chips. A stand mixer fitted with your paddle attachment. If you don't have a stand mixer, you can totally use a little hand mixer or even just a wooden spoon. We'll also be needing a whisk, a rubber spatula, and a medium-sized cookie scoop. Again, not necessary, but definitely helpful if you have it. Then to bake our cookies, we'll be using a cookie sheet lined with parchment paper, and then a cooling rack for once they're finished. Now, if you keep watching, I do have a little product to show you that I absolutely love to use for the leftover cookie dough that I have. So first things first, I'm the realist. Just kidding. Sorry. First things first, we're gonna wanna mix our dry ingredients together. So we've got our flour. Now let's add our cornstarch, our baking soda, our baking powder, and our salt. So now that we've got them all into a bowl, let's just combine them with a whisk. We want to get it all mixed up just so that we don't have any areas where there's too much of one ingredient. Noted. A larger bowl would be nice. Okay, now that all of our dry ingredients are mixed together, we can just set this aside. Next, our wet ingredients. So first we have butter that has been melted in the microwave but then cooled down. We do not want it to be warm. Now to our butter, we're gonna add both our sugars. All right, so now that we have both of our sugars and our butter in our stand mixer, we are going to beat that up until it becomes light and fluffy. As you can see here, our butter sugar mixture is now fluffy in consistency and light in color. So next we want to add in our eggs. We'll add these in one at a time. Egg number 2, and mix again. So it looks like everything is fully incorporated. Now is a great time to scrape down the sides of your bowls to get all the stuff that wasn't mixed in there back into the mixture. Make sure you scrape out the bottom too, because anybody with a kitchen stand mixer knows that for some reason, science cannot figure out how to reach the bottom of the bowl. It's 2022, but it's just not possible apparently. So now is where we're gonna add in our golden syrup and our vanilla. So now is your last chance to make sure that all of these ingredients are really, really well mixed together, because once we add our flour in, we don't want to overmix. Overmixing with the flour in will cause too much gluten development, which will result in a tough cookie. And that is not what we're going for. Even though we have a bunch of tough cookies, that's not what we want to eat. Give your bowl another scrape down. All right, so now we are ready to add our dry ingredients. So at this point, if you're using a stand mixer, you're gonna wanna pulse it very slowly because otherwise we're gonna have a big old mess. If I just let it go to medium speed, you wouldn't see me. There'd be a cloud of flour. So a little pulsey pulse. Okay, so now that things are getting mixed together, we can let it go. We're on low speed. Get it up to like medium low, and like I said, we do not wanna overmix. So right now this looks pretty good. Everything is coming together. So let's go back in. We'll scrape the sides of our bowls and make sure you get that bottom because I'm seeing some unmixed stuff here already. Okay, so our wet ingredients are mixed into our dry. And this is where we're gonna add our toffee bits and our chocolate chips. As I've been playing around with this recipe over the years, I've added the toffee bit. I really enjoy the nice caramelized flavor that they bring to the cookie. And then we've got our chocolate chips to go in. I'm using semi-sweet. You can use milk, you can use dark, you can use chocolate chunks, you can use M&Ms, you can use Reese's Pieces, whatever you like. Today, I'm just going with the classic semi-sweet chocolate chips. You just want to get this until the toffee bits and chocolate chips are pretty well incorporated. All right, a little mixer cam action here so you can see what this is supposed to look like. It is looking perfect to me. Now we'll stop it and we will just finish mixing it off by hand to make sure the chocolate chips got fully mixed in there and every cookie will have a sufficient amount. So as you can see, I have finished mixing up the chocolate chip cookie dough by hand, and I have put it into a separate bowl to save your ears and mine because I care about us. We're gonna be using this metal cookie scoop, and I didn't want any of us to die from the sheer pain of scraping up the side of the metal bowl. So we're gonna take our cookie scoop. The reason I love this is because it ensures that every single cookie is the exact same shape and size, and because every cookie is the same shape and size, that ensures that we will have an even bake. So you take your little ball dough and just plop it down. We want to leave a little bit of room for spreading. If everything goes correctly, they won't spread a ton, but we want to make sure that we end up with separate cookies and not a cookie cake. So I'm going to get all of these cookies scooped out onto the pan, and I will see you after that's done. So now all of our cookies are scooped onto the pan, already looking beautiful. But to make them look even more beautiful, we've got some extra chocolate chips. Just to ensure that there are chocolate chips on top of each cookie, I'm just going to press the cookie down a little bit with my fingers, add in a few to each one, and they're just gonna make them look extra super cute. And in 2022, we are all about the aesthetic, aren't we? This is what they look like before they go in the oven. But before they go in the oven, we will first pop them into the fridge for at least 20 minutes. This will stop the spreading and leave us with a higher, denser, chewier cookie, which is exactly what I'm going for. So while your cookies firm up in the oven, while your cookie dough balls firm up in the fridge, you can take the rest of your dough, make another sheet, or I'll show you what else you can do. This is one of my favorite things. So I have this little, I think it was a Shark Tank or a Dragon's Den product, and it's called a Smart Cookie. And so there's two sides of it. And this side has little separators, whereas this side is totally flat. So what you do is you take your cookie dough and you push it into the flat side, and then once that's done, you take it, line it up, and push this in, and I'll show you what happens. So now that we have all the dough evenly pressed into the flat side, we can now take the side with all the ridges and get it nicely lined up. We can even go over it with a rolling pin if we want, which I think I'll do just to make sure, because your girl is anal. And you'll be able to tell if it's sealed or not by these little corners here and see that it's all underneath, so we are good. And then you stick this puppy into the freezer, and whenever you have somebody over, or maybe you just feel like eating a dozen cookies all by yourself that are fresh out of the oven, you just pop it out. The little separators make sure that each cookie is individually cut, and you just pop them out onto your cookie sheet and throw it in the oven, and you have a batch of homemade cookies in no time. It is so nice to just make a big batch of cookie dough, have a couple of these, fill them up, pop them in the freezer, and know that I don't have to worry if I have surprise company over, which doesn't happen very often anymore. But maybe another 2 years and it'll start happening again. All right, so it's been about 20 minutes, and here are the cookies that I took out of the refrigerator, and now we're just gonna pop them into the oven that we have preheat at 350. All right, little cookie dough babies, here we go. We should see these guys in about 10 to 12 minutes. So while the cookies are baking, I thought maybe you guys would like to meet my little doggy. His name is Vinny. Let me know if you like this kind of thing, if we had like a little moment with Vinny every video. Not sure what I'd want to call it. Mini Vinny moment, a minute to Vinit. I don't know. If you love animals and think that an animal in every video on the internet would make the world a better place, just like me, let me know what you think. Vinny! Oh, okay, this is Vinny! Say hi, Vinny! Okay, well, he'll get used to you. Just kidding, he thinks somebody's at the door because I said say hi. This is my little Vin! And he's such a good boy. He's my little nugget. Hi, baby. No, Vinny, nobody's here. I'm sorry that this is how you're being introduced. Maybe if we gave you a treat? You would have a treat, Vinny? Huh? Oh, good boy. Say peace. Oh, good boy. So that's my Vinny, love of my life. So it's been around 10 to 12 minutes, and these are looking lovely and ready to come out of the oven. Oh my goodness. Just a little note to add, everybody's oven is different, but if you're not sure, just take a look to see if the edges of your cookies are getting a little golden. That means it should be done. They may look underdone, but they will finish cooking on the pan. We are going to leave them on the cookie sheet for around 5 minutes, and that ensures that we get a nice, soft, chewy center, and then we will transfer them onto our cooling rack. All right, our cookies are off the cookie sheet and onto our cooling rack, and they are done and ready to be enjoyed nice and warm, and they will be perfect and gooey in the center, but they will also store perfectly in an airtight container for around 3 to 4 days, but I doubt they'll last that long anyway. I love the way they look perfectly homemade. They're not all exactly the same. I love the little crinkly edges it has, and let's get a little... Okay, come on, tell me that's not the cutest cookie you've ever seen. Not sure if it's totally necessary because I have been working on this recipe for a very long time, but we'll give it a taste. The edges are ever so slightly crisp, and the center is warm and gooey, and it'll become nice and dense and chewy once they completely cool. They're perfect at any temperature. I love them, and I hope you try them, and I hope you love them too. And that brings us to the end of this video, and I hope you enjoyed. Thank you so much for being here and seeing me in my very first episode on this journey that I'm very excited to start. I will be including the full recipe in the description box below, so if you would like to make them, please do and share it with me. You can let me know through my Instagram at allmyoven or my Facebook page, All My Oven. I would love to see photos and know about your experience making this recipe. I would love to see how yours turn out. And you can leave a comment down below letting me know what you'd like to see next time. I would love to try new things together for the very first time. I think that could be a lot of fun. But I would also love to share recipes that I already know and love myself. If you enjoyed hanging out with me as much as I enjoyed hanging out with you, I would really, really, really appreciate it if you click the subscribe button and hit the little bell for the notifications every time I upload a new video. I'm hoping to upload every 2 to 3 weeks to start. It's a lot to learn, and it all happened very quickly, but I am very eager and excited to do this more and more and more and see what comes of it. I can't wait to be back here in my kitchen with you again to hang out and have fun, and who knows what we'll make next. Bye!